YouTube friends! My name is Constance and this is Cruelty-Free Musings. Welcome to my monthly pen update where I tell you all about the level of progress that I made in the month of June or lack thereof. This is my rolling project 9 pan where the general concept is I have 9 products in it at all times, and when I hit my goal on something, I just roll it out. Or I keep it in until I'm bored with it, and generally I try to do refreshes on a quarterly basis, so there was one in April after March, and there will be one in June, the end of June. Yes, there will be one in July for the end of June. So, this is associated with teamprojectpan, which is a community project pan started by Kat and Hailey of Beauty News, and they decided to start a community tag. They were like, we're going to do a full face rolling project pan. So whatever your project pan that you have that fits that general description, you can tag it Team Project Pan and then scroll through the Team Project Pan hashtag on YouTube and Instagram. Wherever you post your pan updates, there will be other people also posting updates in the Team Project Pan, and you can look at everyone posting their updates about, you know, the stuff that they're working on. Alright, so let's do the non-makeup first. Okay, so this is my non-cruelty free hand lotion that I keep beside my bed and use more or less nightly, a little bit less at the moment, but more or less nightly. You might notice that there's a giant amount of progress on this. That is not because I've actually used that much. It's because we went traveling and I took some of this with me. And I pumped I use 1 pump of this. Any given time that I use it, we were gone for 2 nights. 2.5 days. I put 10 pumps of lotion into a little travel size bottle, and that, you know, I'm happy with the decision. I did use that lotion. But also that update is a little erroneous because I only used 1 pump in that 2-night period, and there's 9 other pumps missing. There's, you know, a little 3-ounce travel size of lotion. It's about half full, so that's not really real. That's not really real. But I am still happy with the amount of progress, and it is a little bit true that as we get down to the bottom of this bottle, I will be using it faster. Because you can see, it is wider up here, and as you get down to the bottom, it narrows a little bit. So from this point on, all of my updates should be very similar. The goal of this is to use it up because it's not cruelty free, and it's an old lotion, and I want to use it before it goes bad. But the purpose of having it in the project is more or less just to see how long it takes me to go through it. Because, I mean, I feel like this is way too much lotion for me to buy at one time, given that I use it on my hands. But, I just think it would be interesting. I still think it would be interesting to track my progress on this. It is staying in the project. I made a ton of progress, you guys. I sort of made a ton of progress. Okay, so other non-makeup thing. The Julep Oxygen nail treatment. You may notice that there is a little bit left in there. Why is it in the project then? You may ask. Didn't you mention something about getting a little paintbrush to dig what remains out of the bottom of... Yes. Yes, I did in fact mention that I was going to get a little paintbrush and dig in the bottom of the pot, but this has dried out to the extent that it leaves the little strings off the ends of my nails, and I just cannot deal. I cannot cope with any base product once it gets to the point where it's difficult to smooth out and it leaves the little strings off the tips of my nails. That's just not a thing that I enjoy. So this is going in the trash. It's going into my empties. Goodbye. Goal not technically hit, but I refuse to use this. And I don't have to, even though that goal says use up. I have used it to the extent that I am willing to use it. Alright, so that's one product out of the pan. Alright, let's look at this thing next. Okay, so this is my brow product. I have been using it, you can see. Let me try to block my face out while still being able to see. So you can see I have been using it. There's a lot of powder there. And also, I don't know if you can really get a sense of how deep that dig is right there in the side. Like, you can see where it is, but I don't know if you can see how deep it is. It is almost to the bottom. I can tell you that from the experience of hitting pan on the Rust Quad. So this is very near to hitting pan. I think it'll probably be at pan next month. I have discovered that it's a little bit warmer than I thought it was. So like, it's in my brows and it looks fine, and I don't have any problems using it. It matches well enough. But it's a little bit warmer than I thought it was, having used it more consistently. So while it's a decent match for my brows, I might actually roll this out once I hit my goal. Since my goal is to hit pan, I will roll it out probably once I hit pan, and then I'll chuck it and I'll get a pomade probably, so that if I have a sufficiently dramatic eye that I need a more defined and filled brow, I can still do that. So I anticipate that one rolling out next month. Good progress on it. Okay, let's do this one. This is my Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation in Swan. I don't think I've made a ton of progress on this. Now, I do use it every time. I'm using it every time I put on foundation. The thing is, I had 3 weeks off work. I would have gone back to work to my old job this week, but I had already given my notice, so I just had 3 weeks off. So, and if I'm not getting ready in the mornings and going somewhere, the odds that I put on foundation are relatively small. We also, we took a little vacation, and I did not take any I did not take any makeup on that vacation because we were going to an amusement park, and you know, the number of girls that I saw in full beat at the amusement park staggered me. But that is not a choice that I personally am going to make ever. Like, I'm here to ride rides and scream. That is why I am here. I am not here to sweat my makeup off my face. So, I just didn't take any makeup. I was planning to take minimal makeup, like concealer, mascara, red lip, and then I just didn't. So, yeah, packing the morning of leaving and getting things together, and I just did not pick up the things, like I wouldn't have taken this anyway, but I ended up not taking the things that I was planning on taking. Anyway, the point of all of that is to say that I don't anticipate having made a lot of progress on that. Like, there's visually not a lot of progress. This is a lot of foundation. This is 1.7 ounces. It messes up my color balance, so I'm trying not to keep it in frame. My phone has many good qualities. Lots of fine-tune control. I haven't discovered those yet. So I'm not anticipating a lot of progress on this. It was at 2 ounces before when I introduced it. Let us see what it is at now. Yeah, it's at 2 ounces. So I have not used a measurable amount of my foundation. Not surprised. Used it every day that I wore foundation since introducing it. But that was 5 times? Maybe 6 or 7. Maybe 6 or 7. But not a lot of times, is the point. So, no measurable progress. Still love the foundation. I love that I can use it with a brush or with a sponge. I have to mix it to get the color correct still, because it turns out that even having gotten a sunburn, I don't change color. Even with everything that I'm mixing it with, I can still use a brush if that brush is reasonably clean. Like, I'm getting to the point with my brush that I have been using all week that it leaves streak marks, so I have to pat it in and then go over it with a sponge anyway. But most foundations that I have tried, I find that I need to use a sponge. I really enjoy that I can just throw this on with a brush, even if I'm changing the color. All right, carrying on with the face products. This is my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in color Light Bronzer. Guys, it looks the same. Okay, you can tell. There is a dip in the middle. There is hope. The pattern is almost gone there in the middle. Almost. I have hope. I have been, like, laying this on super thick lately. I think it's that it's hot outside and I want to look like I change color, even though I really don't. And also, a couple of times I have put on my foundation and been like, that's too dark, bronze up the neck. It's a strategy that works. So, this, moving on to my blush. This is the BareMinerals powder blush in on the Mauve. Look, you guys! There might be a dip it might look exactly the same as it has before. I still continue to really love this blush. It's the one that I'm wearing today. It's a really easy everyday blush. I can kind of layer it on. I can go in really lightly. And by layer it on, I mean dip my brush in twice and then achieve this delicate level of blush. Yes. I still have to be a little bit careful. I went in a little too heavy yesterday, and yeah, some correcting with my foundation brush had to occur, but in general, I still am really enjoying this blush. I don't anticipate hitting pan anytime particularly soon. I don't really see a dip even. Like, the surface is clearly a little bit roughed up. You can see that. And there's a decent amount of powder collected there in the hinge. But, yeah, I don't anticipate hitting pan on this anytime soon, but that's fine. It's still a really nice, easy blush to reach for every day. And now this is the ColourPop Flexitarian. Super Shock Cheek in Flexitarian. Guys, I hit pan, look. That is a decent amount of pan as well. I have really enjoyed using Flexitarian and getting to the point that I hit pan on it. I find that it is pretty easy to make look natural. It plays nicely with my undertone. I'm pretty happy to be moving on to another highlighter where I'm not just using this every day. I would say that I didn't use this every day since my last update. Mostly because I was using a lot of glowy bases or not wearing foundation a whole ton. Because that's something that I like to do. I like to just put concealer in the center of my face and then let my skin on the periphery just look how it looks. Obviously today I am fully made up. It might not be obvious to you, but I have some acne scarring here and here, which is not clear to you because it's, you know, it's just slightly pink. But you can see it when I take my makeup off, but when I am wearing foundation you cannot see it. Alright, so I hit my goal on that. I hit pan. I'm happy to be moving on to one of my many other highlights in my collection. Still love this one. Yeah. This is the thing that I love about project pans, is that I can just use the things and concentrate on using the things that I really enjoy using. Alright, this is the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Lumiere. This is, you know, I'd never actually take a measurement so you can see my progress. I think I sharpened this once, maybe I sharpened it twice. You can see it's, you know, it's pretty bedraggled. The thing that I have realized recently, which I don't know if you probably won't be able to tell from that swatch. Let me see if I can make it a little bit darker. Like, I just don't know if you'll be able to tell because of the white balance changing on my phone as I try to as I try to get a better picture of this color. Yeah, it's showing up way pinker on camera than it actually is. So this is a proper, like, almost lavender mauve. Like, it, when I put it on my hand, it looks mauve. When I put it on my lips, it looks gray. And I have finally decided that I don't love it that much. So I'm going to leave it in for another month. We'll see if I reach for it. I don't really think I am. I'm just not feeling it. I do love pairing the other lip product in my pan, which is up next as the last thing, with a lip liner, but I don't love it with this one. So leaving it in for another month, but anticipate seeing this one rolled out probably into the trash can. Lumiere was a Kathleen Lights collaboration at a time when I watched all of Kathleen Lights' content. I still really enjoy a lot of her aesthetic. I find, a lot of her collaborations to be unnecessary because she just does the same things over and over and over again. But I mean, I do the same makeup look over and over and over again, so like I get it. But yeah, this I bought it because I was a Kathleen Lights fan. I kept it because I like mauve, and using it over the past 2 months has made me realize that it doesn't look mauve on my mouth. And probably that is because my lips are a little bit warmer than the rest of my face. Like, weird thing about humans, your lips can be a different undertone than the rest of your face. So something that looks, so my undertone is cool. I'm very pink based. It makes me look like a porcelain doll, which I leverage to my advantage. Like, I think that that's the fun part of wearing makeup, is looking a little bit too perfect to be real. But my lips are almost cherry red. Like, if I have a full layer of foundation on my face, but I've carefully cleaned off my lips, this is probably the best example that I have for it right now. They'll almost look this color. So, swatch. If there's no color on my face, but just my lips are clean, my lips will look that color. So quite warm and almost red. So gray is not a color that my lips ever are, and putting a mauve on my lips that's a little too cool toned can look real weird. So we'll see if I reach for this at the next month, and the half-year update is next month. So if I don't use it, or if I still feel this way where I'm like, it's too gray on my actual lips, then I'll just roll it out and it'll be fine. Last item, and then we're introducing new products. This is the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche liquefied? Yeah, liquefied lip. And this is the color Whip. I am wearing this in combination with not Lumiere, but with another lip liner. And I find that it is too yellow on its own, so I have to be careful about layering it up over itself too much. Like, I do take it with me for a reapplication product, but if I'm going to be wearing something all day and reapplying, several times throughout the day, it won't be this, because unless I'm going to also take my lip liner and reline my lips to correct the color, because it ends up turning very yellow-brown dead. I have noticed progress. When I started this, the doe foot would come out with a little glob of product on the fuzzy doe foot, but you can see, and I would scrape it off to this level, but you can see there's no excess product on that at all. I sometimes even dip back twice to actually get enough to apply on my lips. Now, obviously, you can't really see progress from the amount of, lipstick tube that you can actually see. Let's see if there's actually a weight difference. Last time it was 18 grams. You know what? I think it's 10 grams now. So that's pretty impressive in my book. Like, I made an actual decent weight difference in this. I don't think that I'll ever be able to, actually tell if I've emptied it out. But once I'm no longer getting color, even after scraping the sides. Okay, so I swirled it in there, and the doe foot looks like it would typically when the product is new. So you can tell there's still a decent amount of product in there. There's a decent amount of lip color, but I have made good progress and learned how I like wearing it. So both of those things are good things to know, and I think that I will happily use this up. My opinion on the formula is still the same. The Bite Beauty liquefied lipstick is gorgeous, wears off well, and is comfortable to reapply. So, very happy to be using that up and giving it some use. Alright, so reintroductions, I hit my goal on this, and I did not hit my goal on this, but I can't stand using it anymore, so it's going in the trash. So I have 2 products to roll in. First thing, this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer, SPF 15, in Reserve Your Cabana. I use this as an all-over face setting powder, and I've used a decent amount. You can see that the rings are there, but there's still some pattern there. My goal for this is to use it up. Now, why this, you may ask? Well, if you're following the cruelty-free news, you may know that Wet n Wild recently was in the middle of a kerfuffle about selling in China. Because it turns out that they've been selling in China since 2018, and they did a bunch of legal maneuvering to make sure that their products are not currently tested on animals, even though they're being sold in China. However, because they are being sold in China, there is still a possibility that a product would cause a reaction to a customer, and then the regulations would require that the Chinese government still do testing on Wet n Wild products because they're sold in China. Jen Loves Reviews did an excellent review about when in the process Wet n Wild products might be tested on animals. So there's no definition for cruelty-free legally. PETA did today post a thing saying, we officially affirm that Wet n Wild is cruelty-free. They've pledged to pull their stuff out of China if they're required to, if they cause a reaction and are required to be tested on animals. And that's, so like they're officially certified by PETA. Now, an official certification by PETA means approximately as much to me as my own spit. Like, I do not care at all about PETA as a certifying body. I have many opinions about PETA, starting at they think wool is inhumane, passing through they threw paint on people in public because they were wearing fur, and ending at they will actually take animals out of shelters and euthanize them and call it mercy. I don't think highly of PETA at all. Their certification means nothing to me, and my personal definition of cruelty-free involves not selling in China. And yes, Wet n Wild jumped through a lot of hoops to make sure that their products did not have to be tested on animals in order to be sold in China. But I'm still not happy with them for selling in China. Not only because they require testing on animals for imported products, but also because they're a constant human rights, source of human rights abuse. Like, they torture and murder their own civilians. I have a lot of problems with China's behavior as a nation. And one tiny thing that I can do is not give my business to makeup companies that sell their products in China. So, Wet n Wild, sorry. You're no longer cruelty-free in my book, even though the products that they're selling in China were not tested on animals in order to be sold in China. I am opposed enough to the policies of the Chinese government to still not want to support companies that want to sell to the Chinese public. So, that was deep. It's emotional. Let's move on. The last thing that I'm rolling in is this ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is my current favorite concealer. This is in the project first because ColourPop products tend to have a relatively short shelf life. You can see that it's kind of, if I can get a good angle for it, you can see that it's kind of changing color here at the top of the tube, and it also perpetually settles out, and it's not separating into oils. Hallelujah. But I do want to make sure that I get good use out of this concealer. It is a matching shade for me. So for example, I'm wearing it today in the center of my face, and then the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte around the edges, and then blended into the middle. I also enjoy wearing this on its own. I have found that the coverage is not good if I use anything other than a flat foundation brush. This one's dirty because I use it with this concealer. So what I do is I work it into my skin in the areas that just have like, I'm basically treating this as a tinted moisturizer, where I'm like working it into my skin and sharing it out for center of my forehead, nose, chin, and wherever I tend to have acne at the moment. And then I will pat it into my under eye. And that maintains the coverage under my eyes, and like there's still a little bit of shadow there, you can see, but this is the thing that maintains coverage the most. And this is, I wonder if my phone just stopped recording. It hasn't said it stopped recording. Hopefully it just split the thing. All right, so my dark circles are my main bugaboo, so I use a flat foundation brush to maintain coverage by patting underneath my eyes, and then I work it paintbrush style into the other parts of my face. So that is how I like using that concealer. I hope you enjoyed or learned something, or both. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you feel like. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.